Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you my improved version of the Death Stare build. So if you didn't know, the Death Stare build uses cannons to get as many drones in the air as possible by using action skill start on a Messy Breakup. It's called Death Stare because pretty much everything you look at, the drones just immediately destroy. So first we'll get into the skills. You're going to need Brain Freeze and Calm Cool Collected. Brain Freeze will just help you freeze things. Calm Cool Collected is going to reset your cannon and your sentinel, which is going to allow you to have more drones in the air at a time. The rest of the points don't really matter. I'd go into adrenaline and ready for action just to keep your shield up more. But really, there's a lot of freedom with the skill points in this build. I went into Colder Shoulder and Proliferation. Colder Shoulder will help you freeze things faster. Proliferation so that you have more charges, so that you could get more drones in the air. Other than that, I'd go into anything that has faster cooldown rate, like Commitment and Sheer Will. For the blue tree, go into Salvation so that every once in a while you can just shoot, get your health back up. You're going to want full health to set off Calm Cool Collected. Seeing red is the most important part of this build because you need your cannon to set off your kill skills and to spawn more drones. It'll spawn drones without this, but you know, your kill skills allow you to move. It'll allow you to keep up good misfortune, to keep up your sentinel. It's just the best way because we're not using Seeing Dead for this build. For these two, it doesn't really matter. Good misfortune you might want to spec into, but you could pass on it. If your class mod has points into it, good. If you want to go this far, like I said, you have a lot of extra skill points, so just go for it. Static Field and Winter's Drone or whatever. With Static Field will bring your shield up to max from empty and just like one tick. Winter's Drone, so that the drone has an easier time freezing enemies. For the red tree, I had extra points, so I went down to Duct Tape mod, just so that we're invulnerable to our own damage. For the inventory, you're gonna need a guardian. That's the most important thing. You're gonna be holding. It's gonna buff your drones because the further away enemies are, the more damage it does, or the more damage you do. Now the guardian itself sucks, but it's about that bonus that it gives to everything that you're holding. Your grenades, it'll buff your sentinel, it'll buff your drones, it'll buff your cannon. Everything will be doing more damage because of the guardian. You're going to want the anointment. While terrified, deal 75% cryo damage. Again, that applies to everything. Specifically that anointment. There aren't that many anointments that do that. U-Red was the thing I used before, but now we're using this. Messy Breakup. You're going to want on action skill start. Activate any effects that trigger on shield break or fill. The element doesn't really matter. That you could do whichever one you want. It's really the cryo damage that we care about. For the grenade, I went with a hex. You could go with whatever you want, but it needs to have on action skill end apply terror to yourself every 3 seconds for the next 18 seconds. This is how we'll keep our terror up to keep our cryo damage up, because we're going to be using the cryo cannon constantly, so this will be up either way. For our class mod, we're using the conductor. I have 5 out of 5 in good misfortune. Again, the rolls don't really matter. It could be whatever. The conductor is another bonus that applies to everything. It applies to your sentinel, applies to your cannon, applies to your drones, your gun. Everything gets this 50% damage boost, which is pretty nice. You don't get many opportunities to use a conductor, honestly. So the fact that I figured out that it worked for this build was pretty nice. You're gonna want an icebreaker. I'd prefer an auto idle to get more health regen. You know, the one that's 25% health per kill. That one's nice. Because I'm pretty sure Victory Rush doesn't buff the damage of the drones. The rolls are all good besides magazine size. You probably want cryo damage. But other than that, this is a pretty good roll. So, in terms of differences between this and the old build, now we're doing cryo instead of URAD because URAD got nerfed, and before we could not get a Guardian with this role, and now we can, which is nice. And this has way better synergy with Zane than the last build because the last build, you were wearing a Deathless, even though Zane has good health regen, and you're using radiation, even though he has no synergy with it. When he does have synergy with cryo, so now we could turn this into a comical collected build, allowing us to regen our shoulder cannons much faster, which we could not do before. And this allows us to keep way more drones in the air and have, even though we have lower damage than before in terms of cryo damage, 75% versus 150% radiation damage, we could have way more drones in the air as long as we're fighting mobs. So it's actually a lot more damage. So now we'll get into the gameplay. Alright, so now we go to the slaughter shaft. And as you can see, my cryo cannon actually does enough damage that I can one-shot freeze enemies. And that works out so that I can just instantly reset the cannon. So the first shot that froze them and the second shot after that I got for free are both going to spawn an extra drone, which are going to in turn shoot more enemies and freeze them, giving me more cannon shots. And also, some enemies I'll just like send my sentinel after because my sentinel gets all these same bonuses that my drones do, that my cannon does, and it's very effective at freezing things too. So right there, you saw my skill tree was a little different before when I recorded this, and for some reason I spec'd into that one Cryo Nova skill in the green tree. I suggest you not use that because for some reason it's a kill skill that's supposed to make a nova around enemies, but if you use your cannon, it'll make a nova around you, and it'll hit any barrels and stuff. So it's really annoying. I was using it to try and like replace the nova effect of radiation damage on URAD, but like it wasn't really working out, and I downed myself a lot because of it, as you can see. And that's just a flat out death for a very stupid reason. And for a while, I didn't know what was causing it to randomly get downed, and then I realized it was that Cryo Nova. I took it off. But at this point, during this recording, I didn't notice. So now we're on to the Malaman Raid. Playing a regular playthrough. As you can see, sometimes it takes the drones a while to catch up, but when they do, they just wreck everything. So now I'm trying to reposition myself toward the back so that all the enemies have to walk toward me, and I have all of them aggroed and spawned in. Don't have to wait for anything. Also, my drone is like making its way to me and killing everything on the way. Like it's the dog from Ghost. And now all we have to worry about is staying far away from the enemies, freezing them, and killing them. And look at that. I'm pretty sure I downed myself again because of a Cryo Nova right there. I don't know what the hell else could have downed me that quick. Well, all you gotta do when you're downed is, if your Sentinel's up, find a weak enemy, sick him on him. He'll kill pretty much any mob. Just give it enough time. The Sentinel is way stronger than he used to be, and like I said, it gets all the bonuses of everything else. It's doing shock damage and cryo damage twice over. Plus it's shooting grenades, and those grenades also get damage boosts, but you know, grenades are grenades, they kind of suck. I will say, I think a Mitosis Hunter Seeker and Cryo would be better than the grenade I have now. I just need to find one. And as you can see, we just demolished the Kraken. Like, it helps that we're running, you know, good elements for fighting him, but still, that was just destruction. Now we're down to the Valkyries. It takes the drones a bit to catch up and come down the thing. Once they do, as you can see, knock out their shields easy. And as you can see, you don't have to worry too much about your keeping your shields up and whatnot to proc Comco Collected, because like it'll kind of just happen on its own. Comco Collected will raise your shields, and then the next proc of it will, you know, will reset your cooldowns and whatnot. Plus, Good Misfortune will keep your stuff up while you're waiting for Comco Collected to go off. And right there, you can see why I love having so many elements being shot at the same time. I don't need to switch attachments or guns or, you know, shields or anything based on immune enemies, because, like, yeah, sure, cryo immune enemies are a pain in the ass, but it's really not that big of a deal. So right there, you saw there was a shield enemy, and my drones were shooting the shield and deflected the shots back at me, so I just kind of sicked my sentinel on him and ignored him. And you could do that because the sentinel's so effective at killing things. They won't shoot it, they won't do anything to it. You just, if there's an enemy that's a pain in the ass, that's has a good chance of taking your shield down or something, just sick the sentinel on him and run out of his line of sight. Now the Valkyries are jumping down, and they're dead, just like that. Now we skip to the Wotan. Everything between's kind of boring. I probably should have went into this fight with the Sentinel now, because the Sentinel makes this fight so easy, dude. Because he just stays in his shield the whole time, which you'll see later on. He just stays in his shield and, yeah, right there. Instantly down, because he's doing conductor damage and he has static field, so he's doing a lot of shock damage. A lot of shock and a lot of cryo. Another option if you want to switch things up, the only things that affect the drones, by the way, we just abolished the Wotan's head, that was ridiculous. But if you want, oh yeah, so the only things that buff the drones and the Sentinel, aside from bonus elements that are universal, is stuff like elemental damage. Elemental damage will buff the drones, nothing else. No splash damage, no weapon damage, nothing. So you could run an elemental projector maybe and buff one of the elements you're shooting. That'll give you a lot more damage, but I couldn't really find a good way to proc it consistently because I don't have grenades. And, you know, I don't know, switching to another gun is a pain in the ass. So here we're going to Athenas to just bully, you know, the mobs on Athenas, because it's not a true build video if you're not bullying the Athenas mobs. As you can see, we're just freezing over and over. We've been spamming the cryo cannon this whole time, and then we were back up to full almost instantly. And then I go down because of my stupid ass cryo and everything. Always after the last enemy is dead too. So we skip ahead here because I decide, fuck it, I'm gonna kill Tron. Why not, you know? Never pass up on an opportunity to bully Tron. I was just gonna pass these guys, and then they hit me, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll kill you. Sure. All it takes is a luck. Just a passing glance over every mob, and they just die. So here I just wanted to see how much damage my drones could do. That's why I shot in the air. They pretty much destroy him instantly. So yeah, I love this build for just, you know, playing very passively. I can play this while I'm watching YouTube. I can, you know, just not really even pay attention to what's happening on screen. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any other videos that, or video ideas that you have for me, let me know. If there's any guns that you know of that don't really get as much attention as you think they should, let me know, and I'll see if I can make a build video or, you know, highlight it in any way. I got some other ideas. I gotta stop using the Messy Breakup so much. I know I use it a lot, but It's a really fun shield. All right, that's about it. Thanks for watching again, and peace.